Hello everyone, thank you for joining us today for our regular Thursday lecture. My name is Victoria, I'm your regular lecturer from EducationUSA Ukraine, and today we're going to talk about the success stories of our Ukrainian students in the USA. So here joining us are our wonderful guest speakers, Senior Assistant Director of International Admissions at the University of New Haven, Kelsey Jones, and of course, Associate Professor of History at the College of Arts and Sciences, Breдлі Вудворта. Thank you so much for being here today. And today we're going to discuss our topic that is quite typical for all of our lectures, and that is the admission process to US universities and basically how to make your dream of studying in the USA a reality. We're going to take an inside look into the application process, essay writing, seeking funding, and see what it's really like to study in the US. So I would like to hand the word to our speaker today, Kelsey. Would you like to tell us a bit more about the University of New Haven and its admission process?
Yes, thank you so much, Victoria. I certainly appreciate it. Thank you for everyone joining today. We're certainly glad to have you. So I'm just going to give a quick overview of kind of the admissions process, not only at the University of New Haven, but add in a little things, kind of general information that can certainly help you through your process. So let's first start off with the University of New Haven. We are a private research institution here in the beautiful state of Connecticut. If you do not know where Connecticut is, it is in the northeastern part of the United States, very close to the larger cities of New York and Boston, right? So most of you probably know New York and Boston. We're only about an hour and a half drive from New York, about a 2-hour drive from Boston. So very, very close. A lot of our students fly into JFK to get to our campus, right? So beautiful New Haven University, very vibrant city. Certainly a small city, large town type of feel, but you have those larger cities very close by if you want to get kind of get some of that action as well. Definitely not middle of nowhere type of feel for our students, which is really, really nice. University of New Haven is not a new school, right? So we did celebrate our centennial celebration a few years ago, so certainly not new at all, but offering a lot of great opportunities here for a lot of our students, right? Our student body is pretty robust with a little over 10,000 students, so a medium-sized university here in the United States. As you may know, there are a little over 4,000 universities in the US, right? So we are blessed to have a little over 10,000 choosing us as a great university. And with that, we do have about 2,600 international students. So a little over 25% of our student body is international, which is really nice that we are able to add that type of diversity and internationalization to our campus as well. And we offer a little over 100 plus majors. So I like to say, if there's something that you're interested in, then we definitely have it for you, right? We can be a great option for you to kind of study that. When you're looking at universities in the US, there's a lot to choose from. So we always talk about finding what is called your best fit university. And what goes into that is going to be the majors you're looking for, the application process, and of course, type of funding abilities. Our application process is fairly simple. At the undergraduate level, you just apply online, either online or through one of our apps as well. When you do the application process, we're going to need a few different things, right? So the first thing we need is obviously the application. Second, we're going to need any type of academic record. So that's going to be high school transcripts, university transcripts if you're coming in as a transfer student or a graduate student, right? So any of those academic records. Next, we're going to need English proficiency. So if you're not familiar with English proficiency, there are a number of accepted exams, right? From TOEFL, IELTS, Duolingo, SAT or ACT, PT academic exam that a lot of universities are now accepting. Every university is going to be a little different. They're going to have different scores that they require. They're going to have different exams that they require. But we accept a wide variety of exams for our students and fairly good scores for our students as well. And depending on the program, especially at the graduate level, those scores can be increased. So it's important to reach out to whatever university that you're looking at to kind of get a notice of those scores. Next, personal statement or essay or something like that. For all students that don't think we read them, we do read those, right? That does go into the process of admitting a student to an undergraduate or graduate program. So certainly take the time out to write a good personal statement or essay, letters of recommendation. Sometimes those can be optional. Usually for graduate level programs, that's going to be required. And then last but not least, optional exams, right? So a lot of universities are SAT, ACT optional at the undergraduate level. A lot of universities have gone GRE or GMAT optional at the graduate level. But as we have kind of come to the other side of the pandemic to a degree, a lot of universities are starting to reinstitute those required exams. So reach out to the universities that you're looking at to see what the requirements are for any of those. When it comes to looking at the application and you apply, there may be certain deadlines that you want to follow as well. We do have a number of deadlines both at the undergraduate and graduate level, but we are a rolling admission university. So we do work with students pretty much throughout the entire enrollment funnel. For a student looking to come for fall of 2023, we'll still be looking at applications even in July, right? I don't recommend waiting until July, obviously, but we'll still be looking at that. So when you're looking at a university, make sure to look at those deadlines and what those requirements are going to be for each deadlines. Because for some programs, that deadline can be pretty strict and others can be a little bit more flexible, right? Obviously, once you apply, depending on the program you're applying to, there may be varying requirements from your academics, such as GPA or English proficiency exams, especially at the graduate level. I know that the University of New Haven, based on our volume of applications, we have a really competitive applicant pool. So a lot of our students are at the bare minimum of 3.0 GPA or higher for a lot of the programs, right? And that's really great to say that we have such high achieving students that are applying and then attending the University of New Haven. Obviously, for a lot of students, what comes to mind is going to be funding, right? So a lot of universities offer what are called merit-based scholarships. Merit-based scholarships are solely dependent on the academic side. So what you are able to do in your classroom, the grades you got, and then sometimes taking into account that English proficiency as well. But University of New Haven, we do offer some very competitive merit-based scholarships. At the undergraduate level, we offer anywhere from $15,000 to $28,000 of a tuition discount to a degree with those scholarships, and that's going to be based on your academics. So I look at GPA from whether that is high school or university level coursework for our undergraduate students. At the graduate level, it works slightly differently. When you apply to the program, you can certainly be admitted to the program and then be considered for scholarships afterwards. That is going to vary based on the applicant pool or based on the program. They offer anywhere from a 10 to 50% tuition waiver. And then for some of our more competitive students who are at least eligible for the 50% waiver, they have the opportunity to potentially get the provost assistantship, which is a 75% tuition waiver, as well as the opportunity to work as a research or teaching graduate assistant for a monthly stipend as well, which is very competitive for our students. So that is kind of how those funding opportunities work. For a lot of our other students, when it comes to need-based financial aid, some institutions have that opportunity, but a lot do not. So when it comes to that, when you're looking at merit-based scholarships, that can be a sizable funding opportunity. And for those that need a bit more to help cover those costs, looking at those outside scholarships, obviously EducationUSA is a great resource for that as well. So if you're not already working with them on that, I certainly recommend it to do that, okay? So that's certainly important. So when you take all of that into account, the process can seem a little daunting. There's a lot to go into it, deadlines, the application process, what type of funding I will get, but we're here to help with that, right? Reach out to someone like me at the university you're considering to get more information about that and kind of work through that process, right? And so that is kind of a general overview of the admissions process, requirements, funding, and then what other universities may be looking for. Now I would like to hand it over to my colleague, Dr. Woodward, to speak about that, or back to Victoria to kind of take us through the next part of the session.
Thank you so much, Kelsey. That was very helpful, and I think a lot of our students would really benefit from getting a closer inside look into the application process. And we actually have our student here with us, joining us today. So, Katerina, thank you so much for joining us. Katerina is a Ukrainian student who is currently studying at the University of New Haven on a full ride scholarship, and she's going to share her journey, her path to US study, and talk a bit about the admission process and some challenges she faced along the way. Katerina, it's
Hi.
up.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'll share the screen with you right now to show my presentation. Okay.
Yes, of course.
Okay, can you see this? Wait a bit. Okay,
Yes.
okay. Oh, I don't know what's happening.
No worries. You can just go on without a presentation.
Okay, I will just reload it just in case. I think something just went wrong.
No.
Can you see it now?
Yes, it's great.
Okay, that's nice. Can I leave it like that? Just because something is wrong with the presentation. Okay. So hi, my name is Kate, and this is my presentation about my journey, how I got into the US university. So I study right now at the University of New Haven, as you might know. It's 2 hours from Boston and 2 hours from New York, with a full ride scholarship. So I will share my journey with you. As you see, these are my photos from my university. So I am from Odessa originally, from Ukraine. During my high school, I had good marks. I was taking English courses in my free time. I was a volunteer in Ukrainian volunteer service. I also participated in Peace Corps camps like Cactus, Mascot, Camp Heal, and Glow. I did 2 social projects with Camp Mascot in Mykolaiv and Ternopil. After school, I studied medicine in Odessa National Medical University, but then I quit. And during my gap year, I worked full-time as an office manager in Birmingham, Odessa. Then I studied international economic relations at Odessa National Mechnikov University. And during these studies, I worked part-time as a junior office assistant at Farm Bills company, outsourcing company. Then I did my Erasmus Plus exchange at the University of Tartu in Estonia, and then studied, like right now I'm studying international business management at the University of New Haven. But let's talk about it like more in details. So this is a more detailed timeline. So firstly, in 2017, when I was in my high school in 10th grade, I took part in a FLEX program. It was an interesting time in my life because I was too excited. It was my first time I got to know that America is like a whole opportunity for students, because FLEX could allow you to study like in school for 1 year in like high school. And I got to semifinals, but then I didn't receive the final call. I was really sad about it. But then because of FLEX program in different chats, I met lots of people and I got to know about Peace Corps camps, which was really, really interesting for me because it changed my life completely. So I went to Cactus Forum, Peace Corps camps, as I said, Camp Heal and Glow. I was so inspired by Americans because they're so energized, so loud, so cool, and also by people because I met lots of like-minded people there, which, by the way, right now study in different locations in the world, like Finland, Japan, USA, Canada. So you see that these were like bright students I could ever met in Ukraine. So after these camps, oh, by the way, these are photos from the camps you might see. It was like a wonderful time in my life, and yeah, it was very nice. So going back to the timeline, after camps, I applied to United World Colleges. It's like a program IB program for students before university. And I got to the interview process, but I got rejection again. But I didn't give up. I tried to apply to Ukrainian Global Scholars, and I still got rejection, but before interview process, during like application round. And then I went to Camp Muscat. It was in my high school and during my first year of medical university, and it inspired me again a lot because I saw these bright students, and when I studied in medical university, I was like, I want to change something. I want to change my life. I want to do impact, but I cannot do that doing what I do because it was like not enough for me. That's why I decided to quit. I'm not telling that you have to quit university. No. Just telling that it wasn't something that I liked. And if you don't like something, I advise you to change that. Okay. So going to the next timeline. Then I have my gap year and I got a job, like being 18 years old girl. I tried many job opportunities, like going to interviews, processes, and I got a job as an office manager, different Habadas. It's like co-working space in the center of my city. I worked there for a year, and I reapplied to study international economic relations in the new university, Odessa National Mechnikov University. And there I took part in social life. I've been in student union. I was involved in the college community, I would say. So it was a very cool time. And during that studies process, I decided that it's still not enough for me. I want to do more. So I applied to Global Grad Program. It's a program which can allow you to study like exchange semester during your university years. And I tried 2 times. Yeah, it was firstly during my first year in the university, and I got rejection after the application process. Then I tried second time during my second year, and I got rejection after the interview process. But going back before the second time I applied to university, to a grad program, I also applied to University of Chicago. I was so I would say overwhelmed about applying there because I have like 2 friends who study in the University of Chicago, and I got to know that they have like transferring opportunities, and I applied, but I got rejection, and it was still fine because I was thinking to apply for like Erasmus exchange during my second semester at the university in Ukraine. I applied for Erasmus in Estonia because they offered me a scholarship, and I got in. It was a surprise for me because I would never imagine that I will be in Estonia, because I actually wanted to do Erasmus in Italy or Spain, but especially Estonia offered the exchange semester, and I was like, wow, I should Google that. I should try to Google the university, the city, and I fell in love because it's like a small city, and I've never been living in a small city like that. And I like the vibe. I searched like, what are people in Estonia like? And like it was written that they're kind but cold, so kind of like Ukrainians, you know. And I decided, why not? I should do that. So I went for my Erasmus exchange. It was in April after the war started, like 2 months after that. I was scared to be in Ukraine at that time. Like at my birthday, actually during my birthday, like in 2 days after, I've been in Estonia. And it was wonderful because I was on my own for the first time in my life, like so far from my family. It was in the north, you know, near Finland. And I was really excited about that. So these are pictures from my Erasmus exchange. Honestly, during my first 3 months, it was hard because it was like the middle of the semester, and it's hard to make friends, especially Erasmus friends, because everybody has like their own groups. But I still made friends, firstly Estonians, then Ukrainians, and then I decided to continue studying my Erasmus Plus exchange for like one more semester. And I met my Erasmus Plus family, which you can see in these photos, because yeah, I wanted it to be a special experience in my life. So you can see here my timeline during Erasmus Plus, actually. When I was in Estonia, I decided that, oh, wow, they have the opportunities to apply for bachelors in business administration. I should apply there too, because I've been doing my exchange semester there. Maybe they will accept me. So I applied and I got rejection. Again, as you see, many rejections. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. You'll see later. After that, in summer, I applied to College Competitive Club from EducationUSA Ukraine, a wonderful program which accepted me. It was such a chill interview. If comparing like to grad program, interviews are so different. This was like a usual phone call, very chill in Ukrainian, like my language, and I was just telling the honest things about me, and I got accepted. And then I started to participate in this program, started like to visit book clubs and like be involved in this Google Classroom platform where they posted different things. And one day they posted the opportunity to study in St. Cloud University in Great Britain, which is like American university in England. I applied, but then it was like before my second semester of studying in Estonia, and I tried to weigh my chances, like what is better option for me, and it was hard to decide because St. Cloud University is like in Great Britain, it's American, and they had like the opportunity maybe to transfer. But then I wanted to just continue studying in Estonia because, you know, I didn't have enough of experience there. So I canceled my application. And I continued my Erasmus Plus in Estonia. And I want to talk more about people I met there, because sometimes you just think about the future like one goal, and you do not consider other options. Like Erasmus exchange was my other option, which I considered with like other like main goals. So I want you to think about other opportunities which you can see like Erasmus Plus exchange. Just try to apply like to many options, because you never know whom you can meet, where you can be, and what you can achieve with that, because it helped me a lot, because now I have like friends from all over the world in different countries which can support and call me whenever they want, whenever I want. So just know that, okay? And after that, after like this Erasmus Plus was like in process, second semester, I got to know about this opportunity to study in the University of New Haven. I'll show you the pictures. It's a wonderful opportunity. That's what I started to think. I started to Google again to find a program, like search for different programs, for the mascot, colors, the vibe, people, and I got to know that they're not very competitive. I mean, by the atmosphere, they're so friendly, they help each other out, the staff members are very kind, that the university, as you see, is very beautiful, and it's like 2 hours from Boston, 2 hours from New York, so it's a good opportunity to find jobs like after the graduation process. So for me, it was a definite choice, number one. And I started to like this university, like from the beginning as I opened the website. So by the way, the mascot of the university is horse charger. I always thought that I'm like energizer, so I can relate to horse rider. And the colors are the colors of Ukrainian flag. Yes, yes, exactly. So I was shocked, and I think I started to think that it's a sign probably that it's my university. So I was accepted, and I got a full ride scholarship. So my financial aid is full ride for 2.5 years. Covers tuition fees, housing, dormitory, meal plan, 3 meals a day, house insurance. However, I don't have like extra monthly scholarship. For that purposes, I just have the work on campus. I work in the international admissions office right now. So I work with students' applications. Okay, so now let's start. It's time to go to tips, to my personal tips for you guys. Overall advice: never give up. As typical as it may sound, try as many opportunities, as I said, as possible, and have many other options. Ask yourself, what will I do if it doesn't work out for me? Maybe it can seem like pessimistic for you, but no, it's more realistic. You just have to think about this. For example, when I applied for global grad program, I also considered other options like Erasmus Plus, volunteering abroad options, college competitive clubs, and like applying for master's degree in the US, like not transferring opportunity like for undergrad, because I have never thought that I will study on bachelor. I thought that I will study on master's. So you never know, okay? So yeah, don't overthink rejections. Also, don't dwell on the rejection and think that it was like your last opportunity in your life. Remember that it's only for good, because you will have better options, better opportunities, which will come to you after that. That's what I personally think, and I believe. So don't hesitate to ask professionals for help. The EducationUSA always ready to help for free to its students. So application process will be easier with the help of professionals. Or if it's not EducationUSA, any other educational mentor. But EducationUSA helped me, so I'm sure that they can help you too. Reach out to universities you're applying to via email. Email them questions about the information you don't really know, like especially financial questions. Because, for example, when I didn't know something, I just emailed like hundreds emails to the university. I was scared that they will be like, oh, again, her. No. Right now, I'm working in international admissions office, and we got different emails. So I think universities appreciate that the student is interested. But please check the emails for grammar, for different mistakes, and never send like emails like, hey, where can I apply, even without the question mark. Just think carefully what you are sending. And don't hesitate to ask the university for job opportunities. Because I asked for a job position in an email when I applied, and they gave me the job. So don't hesitate, okay? Next tip. Don't just look at the university's rank, like overall rank of the university. Look at the program's rank sometimes, like mostly all the time, because sometimes, for example, it can be like University of Chicago, like #1 in the world, for example. But the program in marketing is like 0, So consider that. And look, but don't rely solely on ranks. That's also important, because if the school is good, if you search and you like that, but it's not in the ranks like top 5 or top 20, it's also fine. It's also fine if it can provide you full ride, if it's like a cool university, overall you like the vibe, you can vibe with that. Don't overlook, okay? So also consider the university's location. For example, if you're like a city person, big cities person, and you don't like small cities, you'll be alone there, like feel lonely, don't apply to the universities which are in a small city. It's a mistake. However, if it's like a small university in a small city which is near big cities, then you can give it a try. But consider the university location. It's very important. Don't stress. It is really normal to know what you like, that you don't know what to do in your life with your career. You can know precisely, but usually universities can allow you to change your major during your studies for undergrad. So know that. For example, right now, to be honest, I'm thinking to changing my major to marketing. Yes. But we'll see. So yeah, know that you can do that usually. So financial advice from me. Okay, choose universities, colleges that can provide full ride scholarships. But like when you're searching for the university, you can find, oh, this is like a university which probably can provide me the full ride. No, you have to check that. You have to look to the website. If it's not on the website, write them an email, which can like tell you after they answer you, that they provide full ride scholarship, especially for international students. You have to ask, do you provide full ride scholarship for international students? Because sometimes they provide it for like citizens. You have to remember that. Also apply for need-based and merit-based scholarship. So again, have options. Don't apply only for like one scholarship. Apply for two. I applied and I got two scholarship. So you never know. You can get one, you can get two. But if you apply for both, it increases your chances for at least something. And always check deadlines for scholarship applications and make sure whether you need to apply for like separately for the scholarship separately, or like the application like is fine. So sometimes you can apply and people will consider you for scholarship. Sometimes you have to do it separately. You have to ask for that as well. Better ask. Don't think, oh, they will consider me for scholarship. No, they will not if you don't ask. Search for off-campus scholarship opportunities for international students. Emphasizing for international students here, because it's very important not to make a mistake in the future. Like just search in the Google grants for international students off campus is like, I think you'll definitely find something. So after the offer, my advice, you have to prepare at least $1,000. Better to have like 1,500 for the first time, just in case. You need always to have your emergency money. Because, for example, I had very good staff members who helped me a lot with my housing, with food and other things, even like my SIM card. But I would say that it's important to still think about like how to not rely only on the university. So have your emergency money and divide your money into sections such as food, emergency, dorm supplies, clothes, and phone connection. Phone connection is really important, so think about it in advance. And be aware that it may be hard to make friends at first for you, even like if you're 100% extroverted in the beginning, because different mentality, very different mentality, and people don't approach you first. Know that. I'm ambiverted personality, so I like meeting new people. I like communication so much, but still it's hard because different mentality, and people don't approach you. So you have to approach them first. And as much as you approach people first, approach professors first too, because they will remember you that way. And it's very important for networking. So get involved on campus, join clubs, attend events, and as I said, approach professors, because you never know like where can it lead you next. Also, connect with international students. Stay in touch with the international office on campus. I would say that firstly, when you arrive, you can vibe more with international students. It's not a lie, it's just a basic truth, because you can relate to them more or less. They are also international, they face the same problems as you did. So it's better to make friends from different countries too. Don't rely that, oh, I will not speak to international students, I will speak only to Americans right now. Please don't do that, because you will feel lonely. Also, prioritize. You can't be everywhere at the same time. You cannot. I had this problem, honestly, when I firstly came here. I wanted to do this and that, join the women in business club, entrepreneurship club, HR management club, international club, or like dozens of different clubs. You cannot do that, because you have your studies, and it's a huge workload. It's a huge workload, yeah. You have your work, for example, me, right? You have social life as well, so you need to make friends as well. Just, you cannot be everywhere. You cannot visit every event ever. So you have to prioritize. And prioritize, firstly, your well-being, your mental and physical health. I made this mistake. I firstly prioritized studies and the social life. When, for example, somebody just asked me, oh, do you want to go here? I was like, yes, of course, let's go. And after a week, I was so tired that I totally forgot about myself. And so don't do that. Prioritize your well-being. If you need your time for like having a rest, chill just without anyone, being in your room, it's okay. Give you some time to take this energy for yourself, doing something you like by yourself. So it's very important, because you need this energy for surviving, I would say, because the medicine here is very expensive. Also, don't lose yourself in the run for success. Don't overwork, overstudy, as I said, right? Take breaks and listen to your needs. Yep. So this was it. I want to say that I believe in all of you. You really have what it takes to make your aspirations a reality. And if you need like future support, because I know that this journey can be very exhausting, very hard, with lack of support from family, from friends. I faced it. I know what it is like. So if you ever need me, these are my contacts. Thank you so much. So if you have any questions, I'm ready to answer.
Thank you so much, Katerina, for such a wonderful presentation. I immensely enjoyed it. And while we wait for questions, I would just like to give the word over to Breдлі Вудворта to maybe talk a bit about funding opportunities for Ukrainian students specifically.
Дякую за цю можливість поговорити з вами. I was the chair of the faculty committee that worked with EducationUSA. We worked with the officer Natalia Rinko and her involvement with the competitive college club. And through EducationUSA, we provided information about the University of New Haven and then the opportunity for the fellowship that Kate received. I thought her advice to you all was really, really good. The one thing I would emphasize is that, well, a lot of things I could emphasize that she said was so accurate, is not to give up. The process of becoming an international student and then finding a place for you to fit can be a long one. And she also mentioned lots of times you'll get rejections, and you just have to be really, really patient. So never give up. Here at the University of New Haven, we have 3 more fellowships for tuition, for a full tuition ride. While Kate is here, we have this one fellowship for housing. But if you can bring additional funding for housing, we have room for 3 additional full tuition scholarships for students from Ukraine here at the University of New Haven. I think what I would like, I mean, I'm happy also to answer lots of questions. I don't have a long presentation, but I would like to just focus on a few things, speaking from my experience as the the chair of the committee that found Kate and what we were looking for. And I think this is probably applicable to other universities as well. What impressed us about Kate were a number of things. First, her energy, which we realized that she was able to bring not only to her experiences in Ukraine, but already in another country in Estonia. We saw in her eagerness thus to experience new things, right? Her curiosity. So even if you're not an extrovert, you might find ways of looking for new opportunities, for pushing yourself to do things that might otherwise be difficult. And as you do that, you'll also develop some flexibility. And we saw that in Kate as well, because of course, coming to another country, I mean, I myself have studied in a number of countries in Europe, so I know the experience myself of being a foreign student. And you need to be very, very flexible, right? You need to be able to suspend your ideas about the way things should be, and learn how other societies deal with education and with living and all of these things that are involved in being alive in a new environment. I'd also recommend that you get involved in really, how do I put it, in serious things, and be able to, of course, show others that you've done that. I wouldn't be involved in something simply for show, right? Just to show off, but get involved in something serious. And of course, that could be across the board. Speaking only as the faculty member, again, in this search committee, we were looking for people engaged in things that really mattered in life, right? And that can be in a job opportunity, that could be in academics, that could be in social endeavors. When you're involved in serious things, other people can see that. I just want you to know that. And then finally, I would emphasize, and this is really, really important, is that you do need good linguistic skills. Someone can have flexibility and be involved in a lot of great activities in their home country, but if a committee is really wondering whether linguistically you'd be able to manage a life in a completely Anglophone environment, we need to know that you can manage that. So I would work really, really as hard as you can on your linguistic skills. So those are the things that we here at the university looked for, and we were so thrilled to find them in Kate, and we were so excited to be able to have her come. I remember the day that we picked her up from JFK Airport, and I know she's already been had some experiences in New York, in museums. There are lots of opportunities for continuing and expanding on one's education beyond just the particular city that you're in. Here at the University of New Haven, as Kate mentioned, we have large cities to the south, and Boston to the north. But wherever you go in the United States, there will be ways to continue your learning even beyond the institution. So I'll stop there. And again, I thank you for your attention. And I want to thank Kate for applying to come to the University of New Haven. And we're really, really thrilled that she's here.
Thank you so much for your words of encouragement. I think a lot of our students
Looks like we lost Victoria. Probably she has an internet issue. So please go ahead. She will rejoin in a second.
Kate, can you think of any things that? Let me ask you this: so, what new things that you were not expecting did it turn out after you were here that you've had to, learn in a new way? What were the things that really surprised you, or?
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I think the kindness, firstly, of the staff members. I didn't expect that all, that they helped me so much. And also the professors. Oh my God, I have so many cool professors which are so active during classes. Of course, I maybe expected that. Oh, I'm sorry. I maybe expected that in a bit, like that they will be energized during classes, but they will be so involved in studying, like in teaching process. That's what I didn't expect at all, because they care about you. They explain everything, like in a way that it will be implemented in the future, like 100%. They tell you about LinkedIn. By the way, about LinkedIn, that's really important. That's what I learned actually, like 100% new, because that you have to post on LinkedIn all the time, that you have to ask people from LinkedIn when you meet them. I didn't know that usually, because I think I'm used to asking people's Instagrams, but not LinkedIn. So it was something new, and especially clubs experience right now. This new experience for me, because in Ukraine we don't have such thing as clubs in the university, and every time they bring up something new to this classroom where we see it and discuss different problems, they, for example, in Women in Business, they tell you that you're a woman and you have to protect yourself. You have to speak up, and I feel that I can relate. So this experience is just.
So I understand that what you're saying is that you were a little bit surprised by the focus of our institution, and I would say in American institutions of higher learning, really on student success. And maybe Kelsey, do you have maybe you have something to add here? Particularly at the University of New Haven, we're deeply invested in our students' success, and we see that as a goal right from the very beginning, not just after you leave the university.
Yeah, and I'll certainly add to that. I think I talk with this about students all the time. Here in the United States, we really emphasize the active classroom that Kate mentioned as well. Like, obviously, a lot of debates and raising your hand and speaking up. We'll call on you for questions, those type of things. Whether you're introvert or extrovert, when you're in the classroom, there's going to be a lot of ways to get you involved, because we believe that activity within the classroom not only helps with the success inside the classroom, but will also help in your success outside of the classroom as well, whether that's during your study or after you graduate. So a lot of institutions have implemented that, and I know that's fairly different than the university experiences in a lot of different countries. So a lot of students don't realize that when they come in. We try to let them know that's how it's going to be.
And I also wanted to say that, for example, oh gosh, I totally forgot. About speaking up culture and like being involved. During classes, we have lots of teamwork. I have like 6 or I don't know, 8 teamwork projects I need to do. So it really makes you being involved, really to speak, to participate in the classroom. And also, I wanted to say that they have career center at the university, so they can help to find an internship. And I'm like, wow, I have never had such opportunities, because this center is very useful for me, and it can help you with your resume. It can help you with everything. So in the future, I will, of course, use this. So that's what is like 100% new for me.
So I guess maybe this is the time to answer any questions that we have.
Yeah, do we have questions?
So Alexander, do you have a question?
Looks like we don't have questions from our online audience right now, but I have a question for all of you guys. So how does a model student look like? What is a model student for a university? Can you please answer this question? Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I tried to address, really. I mean, we weren't looking for a student with a particular, studying in a particular subject. I mean, so our institution is a comprehensive university, meaning that we offer degrees in the arts and sciences, in criminal justice. We have a school of health. So we have many different areas in which students can study. We weren't looking for a particular student with a particular academic background, but we were looking for someone with the skills that I had mentioned: good linguistic skills, someone eager for new experiences, and that could show that based on what they had already done in their life, someone that had been involved in serious things, right? We wanted someone that had a vision for where they were going in life, and showing that they had a willingness and an eagerness to participate in things beyond just their own small circle, right? Already someone eager to experience the rest of the world. And then someone that could demonstrate some flexibility. Now, a lot of those skills came through when we had the oral interview with Kate. So the way we received a number of applications, we read them all, and then we prioritized them, and we interviewed online, I think about 4 or 5. And then got a set and talked with him for quite a while. Was it maybe a half an hour, Kate, or 45 minutes we talked? And then one can get a sense for those qualities that I just mentioned.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Kelsey, do you want to say something?
Well, just kind of add in general, I think what the professor said was amazing. Obviously, for this particular fellowship, those are great things to look for. I think generally, a lot of universities look for those same qualities when they're looking for students, especially when you're considering, much higher scholarship amounts or full rides and things like that. It's a little something extra than just the merit or things like that. It's some of those more serious extracurriculars. What are you like as a person? How can you add to the university, especially with our internationalization efforts? And so I think that's great. Obviously, if you're in high school now or wherever you are, high school, university, you haven't done some of those things, start to add some of those things to your resume, things that you're passionate about, obviously, and that can really show off when it comes to these opportunities.
Thank you so much, Kelsey. I'm sorry for disappearing. My power was cut off, so unfortunately I had to connect to a generator. But we actually have a question from Irina in the comments. And Irina is asking if she graduated from university in Ukraine 10 years ago. Is it still possible to apply to your program?
So we've been looking for undergraduates. That's an interesting question, because we hadn't really considered that this would be a place where someone would want to come from Ukraine for graduate work. If someone found a graduate program at the University of New Haven that they were particularly interested in, right? So a graduate program is one where you've already begun to specialize either in your career or in your education beyond just the breadth of an undergraduate education. It's possible. It's difficult for me to give a concrete and final response, but please contact us and let us know what programs that we have here at the University of New Haven, what graduate programs you'd be interested in, and we'll get back in touch with you.
Thank you so much for your reply, and thank you, Irina, for joining us today. So I'm thinking if we don't have any more questions for today, we will wrap up the session. I would just like to thank you all for joining us today. I'm incredibly grateful and honored to have you with us. And actually, if you don't mind, we have one final question. So just before we wrap up, Andrew is asking, firstly, what are the main advantages of studying at the American universities or studying at the top educational establishments at Ukraine? So yes, that's quite a tricky question, Andrew. On my side, I would just like to say that it's basically up to you. So depending on your career goals and priorities, you should really research the major and the program you're interested in, and just weigh out the pros and cons of whichever program interests you, and then you can make really balanced decision, I think. So it's up to you. But once again, I think we've already mentioned at the beginning the like myriad of benefits that American universities offer. And we've got actually Nikki, and Nikki is wondering up to what age is the maximum admission to US universities, and does this decision depend on each individual university?
I would probably say that it does depend on individual universities. There isn't a countrywide template for approaching any of these issues. I would say most likely that if you're interested in undergraduate continuing your undergraduate education, if you're beyond the age of 21 or 22, then you would probably not be in the first group that would be accepted. But with regard to graduate studies, that's a different matter, and I think it would depend on the field of study and maybe the degree as well. So if you've, for example, completed the master's degree in Ukraine and would like to, and then have been working for several years and would like to do a PhD, then there is less of a limit on time frame.
Thank you so much to all of you for all of your wonderful answers. I've immensely enjoyed listening to you and learning from you. It has been my pleasure to have you with us today. I wish you, Katerina, the best of luck in your studies, and I do hope we can collaborate on a joint project sometime in the future. And I'm hoping that if any of our students have questions specific to the University of New Haven, I could maybe direct them over to you to get like the best possible answer for the program they're interested in.
Yeah, sure, of course. Don't hesitate to reach out to me. Yeah.
Yes. So
thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to have you here with us. I wish you a wonderful evening. And yes, so to anyone listening to us in the audience, please don't forget to tune in next week. We are going to be discussing the admission process and essay writing. So stay safe, stay with Education USA, and see you next time. Bye.